Alrighty, guys. So in this video, guys, we're gonna talk about kind of where to draw your fibs, where to start, where to end them. Because one thing you're gonna really have a problem with is this valid? Did I draw this right? Where do I start? How do I know this is the area, guys? And let me tell you guys, there's gonna be some areas and there's gonna be some times where you will draw your fibs a little bit different here and there. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, guys, remember the fib is just kind of there just to kind of psychologically prepare you for where price will potentially most likely pull back to before pulling back up or just gets full on disrespected. Correct? So let's go over here and let's do a live example, right? So not a live example, but let's just give you an example. So let's go here on the daily, right? So notice here that we had this previous little level of resistance form over here before price broke this little level of support holding here. Let's put that like here. And then basically, as you can see, it's kind of like a break and retest area as well. But anyways, price created resistance, created support, then resistance, and then price completely just obliterated underneath, and then created more support at this major level of support, right? So let's actually put a little replay mode to kind of hide you from over here, right? So because we're talking about here, so we actually have a channel here as well, guys, which is very beautiful. But continue on. So we have price breaking market structure, taking out all these lows, but price did come back and fully respect this area right over here. So a lot of people are most likely going to try to run their Fibonacci from here to here. And one thing is, this is going to be very, very important. These moves do play out, but the thing is, they aren't the overall move. They're just short-term plays. But that's fine, guys, because I'm one of those traders that I'm happy making 20, 30 pips. You know what I'm saying? 20, 30 pips for me, thank God is literally paying my bills for 1 month. Put it that way. Just beautiful, right? And you guys will get there too one day. You just have to trust your process, focus on your process and only your process, and just believe in yourself. Literally. Don't want to tell you hard work because anybody can work hard. You know what I'm saying? But nobody really, wants to believe in themselves and see it before it actually happens. So, I'm rooting for everybody watching this video. So this does work out, and this is a nice little move. As you can see, price rejected the 38 level over here, came back down. That was about 170 pips. Or is a daily move. I don't use daily Fibonacci's to take them because I'm not going to hold this for one whole week. I'm not a swing trader, guys. And you know what I'm saying? But look at this. If we were to actually go back into replay mode here and go to, like, let's say a 30-minute, then yeah, I would have taken this trade. You know what I'm saying? Would have taken this trade on a 30-minute because we are holding this level of support, and we were holding this level of resistance at one point, and then price broke above, came back down. So as long as price can trade under this level, this 23 area, then we're most likely going to short all the way back down here, right? So look at this. And on top of that, notice how we have this channel and then the break of the channel, right? So over here, let's wait till we get into a little bit of Asian London session, and then boom, there we have it. We have a nice little sell confirmation right over there, and let's see what happens. Bam. So notice over here, price came back to its target for 60 plus pips, guys, and boom, we targeted this level of support. Correct? So we used some fib confluence, and we used some channel confluence, and we used kind of this support and break and retest area over here. As you can see, break and retest area, trading under it, had an impulse sell right over here, and bam, once price started breaking market structure, broke all these lows, and then boom, right? So let's see what happens. Oh, let's remove that. We already won this trade. So let's see what happens, right? Price respected this level, and bam. Now the thing is, going back to the daily. Oh, sorry. Oh, dang it. Going back to the daily now, guys. Now, the thing is, we just respected this level over here on the level of support. So now, this is going to be the most major thing ever, right? Because like I said, these are just short-term moves. They do play out, but they're just short-term moves. You know, we just respected that level of support again, and we kept pulling back up. So that fib right there is not really the play, guys. It's not the play. You know, so now going back to what I first said, you know, you want to use the fibs as confluence, correct? So I want my fibs to be in confluence with my levels and my buys and my levels of support and resistance channels. I want it to be in confluence. I want to be in sync. You know, you can't trade a Fibonacci short against price rejecting and respecting major level of support. You can't sell on that. You don't do that because now you're selling on a fib against the level that's been holding. You know what I'm saying? So remember, guys, we're going to be fully focused on support and resistance and then using our fibs as confluence, right? So let's keep going. So the fact that we kept holding this massive level of support, like I'm talking about massive, look at this. This is a massive, massive level of support. Now, I want to try to find Fibonacci's that go in with my favor. Above this area, I'm buys back to this area right over here. You feel me? So I'm going to be bullish above 149, 200 area back to 152, 500 area, right? Those are those psychological levels we've talked about, correct? So let's get straight into it, right? So my daily is respecting this level. So now, remember, most of our trades are on a 30-minute chart, guys. So I want to see if I can maybe find a Fibonacci that'll be kind of in confluence with my entries. You know what I'm saying? With confluence, not with my entries. I'm sorry. We want to try to find a fib that'll be kind of in confluence with our overall, you know, trend, you know, bias and everything. Remember, my bias is above 200, 149, 200. I'm bullish. So let's see if we can find a fib that, you know, can show me, hey, look, Daniel, we can take that buy. So there are going to be times, guys, where you can draw fibs within one session, within the same session. And then there are going to be times where you're going to draw a fib from a different session back to another session, right? So in this situation, look at these buys right over here, right? Above these lows, about to target this area right over here. And let's see what happens, right? Previous resistance, boom. Let's see what happens. Now, look at this, guys. Look at this. Boom, we got stopped. No shit, dude, we got stopped out to the T. It was Asian session, guys. Remember, we don't trade Asian session. Let's see, over here. Let's get straight into over here. Okie dokie, what time is this? This is about 1 o'clock. Alrighty. Remember, oh, look, this is actually a perfect entry right over here. And look at that, we also have that was kind of embarrassing. That's funny. That wasn't embarrassing. I was like, Trading View telling me, hey, right to your stop loss to the decimal. It's funny. So look, we have a channel break. We have basically a channel. You have a channel right here being created, 764 holding, and then we have price breaking and trading above this 8 SMA. This was a good confluence. This was a very good confluence, and it was a very solid trade. You know what I'm saying? So as you can see, basically there goes price. Now notice here that we did break market structure. Look, this was just gorgeous. Oh my god, this was beautiful. Right above here, beautiful entry, bam. And then notice we have another retracement over here, very normal. And notice how we came to the 23. Now there's most likely going to be a pullback. Oh, look at that. So now we have a pullback, and now look at this. Now we have what we call a drag and bag. It's basically a fib within a fib. So we're going to remove this fib. And then look at this. We have a solid break and retest of this area. And let's say we wanted to buy this, right? Remember, now we're only focused on fibs. And that's the thing I'm telling you. You don't want to focus only on fibs, guys. You don't want to do that because you're going to find yourself getting lost. You're going to be finding yourself getting clapped a lot. You know what I'm saying? It will happen. So this trade went about, did it hit a 101? Yeah, hit a 101 by 20 pips, you know, and then came back, break even, stuff like that. And then, you know, kept going. But, you know, one thing you're going to notice a lot, guys, there you go, more TP1. One thing you're going to notice a lot, guys, is, remember, if you're just depending on fibs, you're most likely just going to get clapped. You know, you want to run your fibs in confluence with your levels of support and resistance. Never one against the other. Correct? So let's remove this. That was actually fucking hilarious. This right here, straight to the stop loss at 764. But you see how 764 held? It was really fucking beautiful. It was really nice. But notice that. Now we had a channel. We wait till we were in session because we got in on Asian. You don't want to fucking ever trade Asian. Ever. I'm sorry. Never. Ever do that. Ever again. Don't, like, I'm telling you. I did 10 trades in Asian session using my strategy, and let me tell you, about 7 of my trades were faked out. I had to get back in the trades and everything twice. Imagine. So never trade Asian session. Look at that. We waited till we were in London, and look, we had confirmations. Boom, buys, right? So let's keep going, guys, right? Before we get into the next example. So now back to the 4-hour. So remember, guys, this fib over here, this was a fib short on the daily that we were looking at. We don't want to focus on this fib short. We don't want to do that. Remember, we're focused on the overall trend, which is above this area bullish. So we're looking for every possible entry to be bullish above this area, right? So let's keep going. So bam, there you have it. Now we have price completely freaking ripping up. Now we're breaking market structure on this push. Let's see if we can get a fib retracement to get into this trade. So this is still a 30-minute time frame. Let's see. Boom, we have perfect rejection of the 50, also in confluence with the 8 SMA and the level of support. Let's see how far this thing goes up. Oh, look at that. Bam. It went up only about, what was it, about 20 pips? So it went about 20 pips, guys. But now look at this, guys. Notice how we have this little channel. We ripped back up above the channel. Then we created a range, which there's no way you're gonna hold. I mean, remember, guys, we're scalping here. You're not gonna hold 5 hours of price in a one little range. You're not gonna want to do that ever. You know what I'm saying? Look at it like a ticking bomb. A range is always gonna be kind of like consolidation. I'm sorry. It's like a ticking bomb. It's either gonna explode this way or this way. Now, that Fibonacci was a very short-term Fibonacci. Now, notice here that we have this level of support right over here, and then we had kind of this push over here. We had 38 rejections, and then we had continuation, right? So notice on this fib, we had massive 38 rejections. Remember what the first thing I told you guys? That we were most likely going to experience a big push. So we experienced a big push over here of about 70 pips. Notice that. So now, dragging this Fibonacci over here to here. Now, let's see if we can potentially see 618. And let's see if we can get some confirmations in this area to buy. Because right now, this is not a really good confirmation. Very sketchy, very scary. Just because this level of support is right here, and we are in the middle of the range of the level of support. So let's see what happens. I want to see maybe we can get some area here to get in, or maybe, no, let's just basically wait. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens. There you go. So this kind of looks more of like a solid buy. I don't think this is a really good time just because it's Asian session, but this would be a solid confirmation. I would put the stop loss there. So I wouldn't really take this trade because of Asian session. I would have taken this short somewhere above here, somewhere over here, depending on, the time frame, stuff like that. But, I wouldn't know. I mean, I don't even know if I did take any buys or shorts in this area. I mean, we can always come back. We'll check it out. December 15th, we'll see. And let's see what happens. So, Asian session, of course, very bipolar. But as you can see, guys, we had a nice little retest of this area. The whole trade worked out, 50 plus pips, and it was gorgeous, right? I wouldn't have taken it. I would have rather missed out on 50, 60 pips and be like, fuck. But you know what, guys? As you can see with this candle confirmation over here, we were able to barely see any drawdown. As you can see over here, we got into the trade. We saw no draw. Actually, we saw no drawdown. Literally, probably about 1 pip. You know, we saw no drawdown, and then price just started to rip up, and bam. So this overall fib right over here was kind of more of like the bigger play, because if you can see here, this push actually was the push that broke market structure, taking out these highs. So we dragged the fib from this entry right over here and the continuation of the push of the leg over here, and then boom, we had confirmations, and then we entered, you know. And as you can see, the price was golden, gang, very golden, and now we made some money. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, keep that in mind. You have to always kind of see, you know, hey, I see buys because we are respecting this daily support. So you kind of always have to see where price is most likely going to go on your daily levels, 4-hour levels, or weekly levels. I'm not sure how you guys really trade, but remember, we're talking about how I trade here, right? So in my like I said, you know, I saw price was most likely going to be bullish on the daily, and that's exactly what I looked for. I looked for on my smaller time frames Fibonacci buys or retracements, or actually I just didn't really focus on the retracements. I basically just waited for price to do what it had to do in between my zones, and I had a Fibonacci retracement there. And the fact that I saw price form this candle confirmation over here, took the buy, and look at that, bam, we took it. But anyways, before we end this video, December 15th, let's see what the fuck happened. Actually, did I take that trade? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's see right here. December 15th, guys, where are we on December 15th? December 15th was over here. Yeah, right over here, December 15th. No, I didn't take this buy, actually. Oh no, because I took this buy. Okay, so I took this buy 36 pips right over here. Yeah, I didn't take that other buy. That was a good buy though. But yeah, like I said, it was an Asian session. It was like a New York ending Asian session trade, so I didn't take it. I remember, guys, I trade mostly London. So yeah, guys, right above that level of support, took the buys, and bam, look at that, came back up, and then I took these buys. Pretty solid, insane win streak I had in December, guys. Very, very beautiful. I literally rode all that up right over here, that daily level support we were talking about, and I literally bought the whole thing all the way. So that pretty much sums it up for this video, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.